Hey everybody, it is the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and I am absolutely stoked right now because I have one of my favorite bands of all time right beside me. It is Adam and John from Taking Back Sunday.
I didn't know we were meeting with royalty. Nobody told me.
I've done over 4,000 of these things, so I think, it kind of works.
Well, it's an honor to meet you.
I'm very excited to have you guys on.
My liege.
Since we started this whole thing off with nicknames, you two have known each other for quite some time. So Are there any nicknames behind the scenes that you have from one another?
There's, for John, we call him, we used to call him JT because his middle name is Thomas. And then also it was around the same time that Justin Timberlake went solo. And so we call him JT for a long time. Sean calls, and then there's some other ones, maybe.
Oh, you can't just tease it.
Well, he calls him the Null Pole.
My last name is Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't remember how that started.
Okay.
It's not important. We call Sean Scoops sometimes.
Yeah, because his name is Sean Cooper, so we call him Scoops, which works out good because Scott, who tours with us and does merch, his nickname is Scoots. So sometimes
it's a little similar.
Can be confusing.
Yeah. And then who else? Shug. Mm-hmm. Shug has a nickname. He helps us with our guitars and things, and he's our stage manager, and we call him Shug. Shug Nasty.
Shug Nasty?
Yeah.
Has a good little ring to it?
Yeah, it is.
And how about you?
Because he likes candy.
He likes candy?
There's and like donuts. No, I don't have one. I'm just Adam.
Nickname free.
Yeah. I always wanted one, but you can't give yourself a nickname.
Nah, it's crossing that line of like a little lame if you had to give it to yourself, but you guys got to get on it.
Yeah, well, I was just waiting for him to come up with one. Just tell us what to call him. Yes, from now on, call me Turbo.
Oh shit! Would you call me Turbo?
Sure.
I think we just came up with the nickname.
Good. There was a time like on the case where we keep our in-ears, Ray had written Hot Boots. And that's pretty cool just in a closed circle. You can't go around town calling yourself Hot Boots.
No. I'm very surprised that after 20 years' time, there's still not one created. And just speaking to those 20 years, congratulations. As it's officially 20 years of TBS.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, we were 3 and 4 years old writing Tell All Your Friends all those years ago. And now here we are, 23 and 24. John's older than me. It's 23 and 24. And it's crazy. Even though our parents let us do it.
Yeah, it's very hard to believe.
Yeah, it's
very hard.
Must have been really difficult.
Seriously though, we're the luckiest people that I know. Because to be able to do this, for that long and still able to create music and play it for people, not many people have that opportunity, and it's not lost on us how lucky we are to be here.
And when you think back to those earlier moments of the band, what are some of those more memorable moments that come to mind? Is there anything that you think of right away, whether it's first gigs or even just bonding together?
Well, I remember the first time that, and it really sticks out in my brain and I'll never forget it, because it was the first time that we had played a show and people were singing along and really just kind of going crazy, but they were people that we didn't know. It's the first time, and we were playing. It was just a small show on Long Island in Belmore, right?
Yeah.
And so we got done playing that show, and John had this red Honda Civic, and we didn't have a van at the time, so we would just bring the equipment in separate cars. And we brought some equipment back to the Honda Civic, and then we just sat in his car, because we didn't know what to say. We were just so blown away by the experience. I'll never forget that.
Sometimes saying nothing is, saying more than actually talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I loved reading a recent interview where you mentioned for aging rockers, and that's not my quote. That was what was said in the interview. I believe John said that.
Whoa.
John said that in the interview.
Did I say that?
You did.
This just took a fucking turn.
I quote it, not my words.
I thought we were. Well, yeah, you could have changed
We're
the
cool.
quote, though. Okay.
Using it against you, right? But it was interesting to me because you said one of the rules of the band with that phrase is to not dye your hair. It is not allowed. So if you guys,
Mark and I did.
yeah, if you guys stuck to that rule, see, he remembers the interview.
Look,
Yes,
there's how many interviews have you done? You said
I've done over 4,000 of these.
okay. So as an aging interviewer,
Yes.
like how do you see? It doesn't feel good.
I'm okay with it.
I'm just kidding.
It's like a fine wine.
Well, no, the like thing is I think what they were touching on, John and Mark, is that this thing of just growing old with grace. Like for instance, George Clooney. You know, he just gets more attractive as time goes on, and that's because he doesn't do plastic surgery. He doesn't dye his hair. He just owns it. You know, and he's him. Brad Pitt, great example. And so I think that that's just a rule for life as a man.
Yeah,
Like just like like that's not exclusive to
Don't touch the dye.
to the band. Like just as a man, it's like just own where you are.
Look,
You know?
the thing is, after a certain age, I'm 41 now, so if I just show up one
27.
day with like
27.
What happened to
black,
23 and 24?
Wow, I don't know. I get mixed up sometimes. But if I just show up one day with like jet black hair, it's not like everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you look so young." It's just like you look like you dyed your hair. Like, it doesn't, it doesn't. It's
It
not
almost
like
draws
it's
more
tricking
attention.
anybody. Yes,
Yeah.
I think it does. I think people look older when they do that. Actually, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, agreed.
Is there another rule that's up there, or is that kind of like your number one that you will never break?
Like as far as
Wait,
our style or look or something.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ever notice how like a lot of the bands from the '80s now they kind of like they all have like these grandmother haircuts?
Yes.
Even like Bon Jovi a little
my
bit
gosh.
has one, and then it's just kind of like, and you can like tell that they're doing it because they're trying to like come across as like young. Or,
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, man, just be cool. Don't do that.
That's another rule. No grandma.
No
hair.
grandma cuts.
Yeah. Oh my God! If one of us showed up one day, we would be made fun of relentlessly.
Oh. So we won't be seeing any of that in the next maybe 20 years for TBS. Who knows?
Who knows in 10 or
Fingers
15
crossed.
years?
Hopefully not. Yeah, well, like maybe we'll just hit a certain age
And you're like, let's just
lose
go
our
for
shit.
it.
We're like, Grandma, give me the mullet. Yeah. But,
Dyed black.
The mullet and the hair dye.
dyed black, jet black mullet.
Now you're doing something super cool for this anniversary tour, and that is that you're flipping a coin to decide which record you're going to
Yes.
play for night one and night two. So
Yeah.
how did you come up with that idea originally?
Well, it started as a joke, and then we just followed through.
Like most good ideas do, right?
Yeah.
At least for us.
Well, because we were like trying to figure out a way, you know, because if you do anything for 20 years, I think that deserves celebrating. So we were trying to figure out a way, like, what are we going to do? And then we thought the best way to, I guess, celebrate this thing is to just go to the people that made it possible. And then we're like, oh, okay, we can do that, but like, what are we going to play? What's the show going to look like? And so we had these coins made, and one side says where you want to be, and the flip side says louder now, which is our second and third record. And then so we come out and we play the first record, Tell All Your Friends, and we flip the coin, and there's a little bit of chaos, and then we play whatever it so like the first night we play whatever it lands on, the second night we play whatever it didn't land on. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
I've had to explain this so many times.
Do people just not really get the concept? Like it doesn't seem that
still
difficult.
like on like
There's
my
still people online who
still
can't
on my
quite
social
get it.
media. I'll
Really,
be like,
eh?
"Oh, I don't know how
It
else
doesn't
to
seem that
yeah.
complicated.
No.
But
I was just curious how it came about. Like I understood it, so at least we clarified for everyone, right?
Yeah,
Now you know.
too, like our it was our manager Jillian, who's also been with us since the very beginning, and we're very lucky to have her. And she it was her brainchild, and we were like, man, that'd be funny if we did it. And then she's like, yo, I got the coins made. And we're like, that's amazing. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Now, something that I find super cool about this band is the fact that not only for
We're
myself, well, that's an obvious point.
okay.
I wasn't going to even mention that. But you're one of those bands that really do stay with people through so many years and so many different phases of their lives. So it's definitely the way it was for me. So are there any bands that you've kind of had that have always been that focus, or the one that have helped you through a lot of rough times?
I remember. First off, that's a really amazing thing you just said. Thank you, because that's like one of the things that I'm most proud of with our band. But for me, I remember I had or taping on a cassette tape Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty, and I remember taping it so then I could rewind and fast forward and write all the lyrics down so I could learn, because there's a lot of words in that song.
Yeah.
And then and that's something even to this day that I listen to daily. So, and that I feel like at different stages. See, because he had some, like, there's a lot of records I feel that he has that people like don't get the recognition that they should get, but even those songs are at different points of my life, you know, they've been a lot to me. So John likes Fish.
Do you?
I went through a big phase in high school. I got out just in time though. It's like a cult, you know. It's not easy once you get sucked in. It's very difficult to get out.
There's a picture of Trey Anastasio in the dressing room, and I thought of your top hat. Second night
I did have a leather top hat in high school.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was leather. Wow, that's another.
It was a leather one. That's a step up.
I also had a pair of checkered pants that I got at the thrift store.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Would you wear it with the leather top?
Of course.
That is a look.
Oh, hell yeah. You don't wear the checkered pants without the leather top hat. Yeah.
Well, I found it really neat that a few months ago you actually had someone help you with the coin flip, and that was Seth Rollins.
Yes.
And on my
he's our best friend.
he seems awesome.
Well, he's Sean's best friend. And he likes to talk to us sometimes too.
Sometimes.
He came out to the show. There was a WWE thing in Cleveland. And then so he came out to the show. Actually, he was like on fucking television to millions of people. And then he came to our show.
Just ran over to the show?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because the stadium was just right down the street from the club. And then so yeah, he was hanging out. But
in
yeah,
LA,
he's
he
a nice guy.
came up on stage and flipped the coin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I bring it up
Super
is
cool.
because on my
He's
site.
very strong.
Is he?
Yeah.
Did you have him like bench press you or anything?
Well, no, but his arm, like he's about the same height as me. So, but his arms are like this much bigger. Crazy. I'm like, I gotta get to work. But yeah.
The reason I brought it up, no, don't be, is because I not only interview musicians on my site, but also tons of wrestlers. So I was curious, if you guys could have that in-ring persona or gimmick, what would it be?
I'd be like 80s Hulk Hogan, like that, or like when that thing where he's playing the guitar, you know, and yeah, I'd be that. Brother,
American.
yeah, just talk like this all the time. Which is also, ironically enough, my Tom Waits impression.
You know what's funny? Yesterday, the opening band Red City Radio, the singer was making a joke that the first night he was really like nice to the crowd, but then the second night he did the heel turn. He was like playing like an antagonistic character against the crowd.
So good.
And he really was. He was like making fun of Detroit and Kid Rock for some reason on stage.
Oh my god.
And I think one time he actually said,
It's amazing
Can I
that-
curse or not?
Oh yeah, be my guest.
He actually said to the crowd, "Fuck you, Detroit," like completely unprovoked. Like I don't think anything.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Well, and he's like a real fun-loving guy, you know. So for him, yeah, that's amazing that he decided to. Because I was wondering why he was doing that.
He
But
just decided to get into character.
Oh
for
my
the second
gosh.
night.
oh man, that's funny.
Well, one of my favorite things about this band is the fact that you not only have extremely heartfelt and loving lyrics, but you have some of the most cutthroat and I'd say almost quintessential emo or alternative lyrics I've ever heard.
Rock and roll lyrics. I like rock
Fair,
and roll.
rock and roll is what we're gonna go
Yeah,
with.
like we never considered ourselves an emo band. That was
Yeah.
something that was put on us, which is fine. You know, you can call us whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we're the bosses. You know. But there's yeah, we can be mean when we need to.
We can be mean when we
Yeah.
need to. Well, I was going to ask, I mean, a lot of people say they have to go to kind of a darker place in order to come up with those lyrics, whether it's something as blunt as to hell with you and all your friends, or if you could slit my throat, and it's, you know.
Well, the to hell with you and all your friends I actually stole from Saves the Day, and I called, I called up Chris. I was like, Chris, I'm going to steal half of this line. Is that okay? And he's like, well, what's it going to be? And because he just says, to hell with you, to hell with you, to hell with you, and that's how he ends the song. And so I called him. I was like, well, I was going to say, like, to hell with you and all your friends, and it's going to go like this, and here's a little bit of the song, played it for him, and he was like, yeah, that's great, man, do it, go. And then, so that's where I got that idea from. but he can be mean in his lyrics too. So, but I don't think we need to go to that darker place. I just think, like, as a human, you often
You just think those thoughts, really.
well, like through the course
true.
of the day, and sometimes we just happen to write them down as all there's a fly.
We're just playing with the air, that's all. Well,
Maybe you could add some like CGI.
It's actually a big dragon coming through the screen. Well, I truly just want to say thank you guys for joining me on the show today. It was such a pleasure finally having you on. It really means a lot, and I'm excited for the show tonight. Oh, it's my absolute pleasure.
And it was great sitting on this radiator.
Don't worry, we're not burning them up.
Yeah, I'm into it.
It's actually kind of chilly, right?
I wish it was a little bit warm.
Actually feels nice. I like the contrast. Wow. Just like to feel it in your body, like hot up here, cold down there. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. And remember, to everyone viewing, be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features. We'll see you next time.